Introduce to you for the first Karyagara. The topic is To Seek the Whole Child for a Holistic Learning Outcome by Dr. Lakshmi Kumar, Director at the Orchid School, Pune.
So I had this, can you hear me now? Yes. I had this image that when I walked into this hall with four Jode, I thought you all would be sitting on the floor.
I told them.
Yeah, we will discuss.
So I planned everything that would be about you running around.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So my session is about seeking the whole child. A lot of time we put so much of our focus on the subjects that we teach, that we forget the subjects that we teach. So let's bring back the subject called child and how do we seek the whole child. And a lot of time, child chooses to give the face that we are ready to receive. So I need some volunteers. And what's the time frame?
We are in time, good time.
We're in good time.
Okay. Okay. So I need 6 volunteers. Yes, please come. Yes. So they're going to perform a task, not all of you together. I'll explain it to you. Not one by one. So we have, of course, a child here. They will figure out who it is. Not childish, but someone who can get into the shoes of the child. And of course, we will have a teacher, mother and a father. And you can choose another role of a significant adult who will come in the life. Okay? So very quickly you will go out because we need to plot a scheme. Right? We need to plot something, okay? Your task would be, we would give you the blocks and you just need to build one tower, and when you come back, as in always in school, there will be some rules and restrictions. Is that okay? Yeah. All you need to do is to go out and make an estimate of how many blocks of this size you will make until it falls down. Okay? Out. That's all. You all need to go out and make an estimation. Now, you will get a leaf. You go out. Yeah, right now, look at these children. Yeah. Follow नहीं करते. She's pushing you. She probably wants you out. Okay, you're going to get a leaf of the significant adult in the child's life. Just pick one or distribute one. And you have many roles of individuals who play an impactful role. And hold on to the sleeve. I was going to do one more thing. Do you think you can actually come together as a group without waving at the word and saying the word and group yourself? So you have, for example, doctor. Now you can't say, of course, the word. Yeah, but I will take this back from you later. So we want different communities of significant adults without using the word. Without using the word, without saying it. Quickly get up and form the community of the same people, all the significant adults. I know there is a mother group, there is a father group, there is a teacher group, there is a counselor group. Just no showing. These children don't follow my instructions at all. Yeah,
That's okay.
just use no language and don't show the word if you can. Get your community quick. Get your community quick. And stand in the cluster. And you will know why your power of speech is taken away in a while. दिखा रहे कुछ तो नहीं दिखा रहे ना. No cheating. अच्छा, there is a lot of place here. Everybody is near the gate. Ajo, one community here, one there, and those two. Quick, have you all gotten? Have you all gotten the communities? Yes. No? Okay. That's a good one. Yes. I see lots of people there, not community. Community of, I can see the grandparents. Koi baat nahi. If anybody has grandparents in your hand, just come here. Okay? Quickly. Shh. Do you want to say what's your community? No, ye to floating hai abhi tak. Abhi tak floating hai. Any community form? Which one?
Teacher.
Teacher community. Doctor. Father. Mother. Child. Okay, now quickly get yourself. All the lost souls. There are many lost souls here. Just drag them to your community. ऐसा ही होता है ना? Kids enter and don't know where to go. Okay? Hello, there is a lot of place here. Hello, here.
I was trying to find you last night.
Okay. Now, before they come back, just one more task. Quickly in your community, discuss and give me an estimation of how many will that child who is gone out is going to make until it falls down. I showed you, but don't go by the demo. 1 tower. Quickly arrive at a number. How many numbers? Okay. Is there a way we can write somewhere? No. This must be a parent. No. What is it that? Maushi. She said touch and feel and then estimate. ऐसा है ना स्कूल में?
Ma'am, this is cheating.
Huh? No, you don't. Okay, no, I want a number.
We are ready.
Okay, 7, 8, all right. Which is the 6th? Which counselor? So sweet. Maushi also 6. Very sweet. Hey, कौन बोला है?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Mothers 15. Fathers 20. 6 to 20. Okay, go back to your place. Hold on to your lead. Hold on to your lead. Now let's see what. Yeah, go back to your place. Go back to your place. कमाल है यार 6 से लेके 20 तक. Mother said 10 तो father said 20. Okay. Can we have this? Mother's 15. I want this center. So the person has to stand, no? Okay, can we have the child and the families back? I will need the leaf back eventually. Okay, the gang is coming. Did you hear the conversation here, my friends? But just ऊपर हो जाएगा. एक बस. She's already bullying her. Okay, let's just check with them what is their number. Did you hear any conversation here? You try to speak. Yes. Okay, what's your role? Who are you? Observer. Family में observer को भी allow करते हैं. Okay, let's. Dekha, I said a significant adult. Can an observer be a significant adult? Okay? No. You could have just said rickshaw kapa, no? Okay. Okay. How about you? Father, what's your estimation of what she can do? How many?
I think she should use everything.
Oh.
As a father, how can she?
How can she not use everything? Number गिना भी नहीं है, everything. Okay. You? What did you say?
Ma'am, I had to do activity.
Please listen to this. I have to do the activity, whatever. Okay.
I'm a mother. I have to involve my child to the.
And this one is this, ECA per character. Okay, involve and all that. But number pucha yaar, ma. 15. And no, who are you, first of all? She's now wondering who am I. Father or mother or no, mother ka ho gaya.
Mother is there. We are neighbors.
मेरे को टीचर नहीं मिला.
अच्छा, I'm a teacher.
I think we must get the video and show it to Swati. Please, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं यार. First started with neighbors and suddenly became teacher. Okay, but take a number.
I think 12 or 15.
एक number बोलिए.
Teacher always expects better. 12.
Confusion. 12 is better or 15 is better? Okay, we'll leave it at that. But actually, I like that interpretation. You? Who are you?
Neighbor.
Okay, neighbor.
15 is my estimation.
Okay. Okay. So now is the plot. My dear child, come forward. Paki, zara side mein aa jana. We're going to blindfold you. First of all. That's what we do. In our schools, a lot of time take away the sensorial experiences and say, just come. And you will have to build a tower only using your left hand. Yes. Yeah, more challenging and a lot of it. So, mother, please blindfold her, but make sure that she can't sneak through and see it. So, remember, the child just surrendered to whatever others expect. Remember, the father said 15. Father said all, and how can my child not do? Mother said 15. Teacher said 12. Neighbor? 15. ये number कहाँ से आ गया आपको?
Estimation.
Estimate करने में क्या होता है ना? Number. If you were to do this now, activity, what will be your estimation? With eye blinded and with left hand. Instruction हो रहा है. Boom! 10. Okay? Let's just quickly do it. Now, you cannot touch the child. You can only give directions. Okay? Now, this child is very typically in our classrooms, we see in all these dynamics, make some observation notes because you have to later on write your leaf, and we're just going to kind of build a mapping. Your task later on is from your context, from your role, from your location, what is an aspect of child that you get to see? Don't write an essay, okay? Just write 2-3 words at the back of it, but later. Okay, can we begin? Yes. And we can have an aunt. एक अत्या की जरूरत है इधर. You know?
Neighbor.
No, neighbor can't be aunt. Masi. No, Masis are very different. Bua. Remember the relationship, emotional overload a child gets. One aunt. Can I have? Come, Arjun. And you have any estimation?
We have 8.
No. Now that you're an aunt, Bua, 8? Pakka? This one is very strange. She's saying बुआ के लिए बहुत कम है. Already started. Okay. No touching, only instructions. All of you have to give instructions. You can't just let this. This mother is like this. She's already like. Yeah.
Child will manage.
I don't know.
Let the mother give the instructions.
ऐसे होता है स्कूल में. Okay, now I step down. Okay. चलो. Quick.
First I'll start. First eat. Chunu. Yeah. First eat. 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now keep 3.
One tall tower. One tall tower.
Now keep one more. Again, you just You have to not You have to go into it.
Everyone is now holding on to their number, okay?
Very good. Awesome. Very well done. Yeah. Slowly. Don't run.
Slowly! Slow!
And be slow. Slowly. It's not problem. Center. Go till forward is not anti-clockwise. Wait, don't put any other. Wait. Don't. Just stop. Now anti-clock.
And
It's
it's
okay.
your child is blindfolded.
Slowly.
Just see their body language.
No, it will not go. Take it out.
No, it is proper.
It will fall. It's good enough.
That's all.
Hello, until it falls, she has to do it.
Keep one more. It will fall.
Acha, keep one more and it will fall.
Good job. Now wait.
Amazing, no?
How many blocks she managed?
9.
9. Yeah. So 8 she could do. Yeah, you can unmute. Let's just quickly debrief with them and then the audience. Whose voice should we hear first?
Oh, the child is the mother.
Yeah. Tell us, how did you feel? How was the experience?
Amazing activity and very challenging. I enjoyed a lot.
Were you given
As a child, I learned how to listen to instructions carefully and attentiveness and hand touching the blocks should be like this. Feelings, whether the block is at the proper place or not.
Could you hear their specific instructions? You can be honest, okay?
Some of the instructions I heard, but most of the thing I just use my brain ki can like settle the blocks.
She nicely kind of filtered them off. After some time, it became a noise, not instruction. Okay?
These are
Yeah?
some of the instructions I have.
Yeah. When you went out, what happened? How did you arrive at this? What did you discuss? Or did you discuss at all?
We discussed, we first thought how do we make the tower. First we thought that we can try for pyramid kind. Then
Tower
somebody,
and pyramid. Okay? Yeah?
then somebody said it is supposed to be a single tower.
Mhm.
So then we thought it can be a 9 or a 10.
Did you all discuss this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we did.
But then she didn't have a clarity of her
Yes,
role.
we did have a clarity of our roles. That we have a stuck in building a tower and having strategy, whether it's a single tower or whether making a triangular
Lovely. They got so stuck with the task
with the tower.
that they didn't have a clarity of their role. Okay? Any one of you asked, Bacha, how many can you build?
But we didn't decide on the child on the outside. We decided on the child while we were.
But we didn't discuss this. That how many.
So they didn't decide who the child would be. Only when entering this, okay? And nor did they discuss any kind of what would you be able to do? What do you think? How many towers do you think you can handle? Because remember when I sent them out, I also said there would be some restrictions, some challenges that we would put. None of you factored in that there could be more challenges when this child walked in.
In fact, we didn't even come to that. We didn't think about it.
Our whole focus went on building the tower, count the numbers.
What is happening inside?
Because I sent them out, okay? Because I also said that we're going to scheme it. Okay, mother,
Yes.
where did your 15 come from?
Because we were thinking of having a very strong foundation. So we thought of having more blocks at the bottom and then we'll make our tower.
So they didn't hear my instruction at all. They just thought, we thought, we thought
Just interpretation.
lot of interpretations. I said tower, but you thought it's pyramid. Or अच्छा से again easier word, strong foundation. Strong foundation दे दो, ऐसे 4-5 लगा दो. That way you can use actually 35. You know, I actually have 40 blocks, but I only brought these many. But yeah, we gave our own interpretations of what it should
Actually,
be.
we forgot about the subject.
Thank you. We forgot about the subject called child. We got so focused on the task and our targets because each of us have a role to prove. And then aunt came and what was she saying? 8. And then when she was giving guidance and something else, you said, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? It's not proper. A lot of time we get stuck to our roles and what we think the world or universe is expecting us to deliver. And then we feel that someone is going to, mother feels that she's going to be judged by if this child cannot build 15 block towers. Thankfully there was no father in this. Sorry. अभी clarity भी आ गया देखो इनको. But how many were your number?
All of them.
Okay, all, everything. Okay. Now let's look at paying so much fees so the child should build all the blocks. But पता है आपका DNA मिला क्या अच्छा सा? No, don't ask. Please don't ask this outside, okay? But we just think that I've given the DNA so the child should be able to build it, right?
Yeah.
Or that I'm paying the fees, or I'm giving the good environment, सब कुछ हो रहा है, and very very nice upmarket fancy school में है. So just take the 15 blocks, 12, सब कुछ, and not really once checking with the child, checking with the environment, what are the challenges that are there. Let's listen to the audience. Yes.
you have given one instruction when you said blindfold and use left hand.
Yeah.
But when she was using both the hands.
Yes, yes, yeah. No, she wasn't using. No, she actually had the right hand. She only used, yeah. But the rest of them had used their entire body to hold this.
Vision was different.
Yeah, yeah,
And child uses her own senses basically.
yeah.
She was just following.
Because also there were so many instructions and noises, okay?
A lot of pressure from the outside.
Lot of pressure on, and
It
you know,
was really good, I can say that. But there was a time when they said left side, angle and all
yeah,
that.
anti-clockwise. Imagine if they are blindfolded and told anti-clockwise. I wouldn't know how to turn. Yeah, yeah. But then we thought we should give an appropriate, nomenclature and the instructions. And for a child who is blindfolded and going to use only left hand, and they gave instructions. Any other? Yes.
Also the affirmations, I think, because there wasn't any positive affirmation. It was like
There were some words, but got lost because of this, target achievement. You did. Yeah. You did. But the noise was so high that everyone was again
Child
focusing.
were getting confused and panicking. So in this situation, child can get panicked because so many instructions are coming
Absolutely.
When
Yes.
they took it off, you were all sent
Okay,
out.
now we're going to listen to the audience. Okay?
All of you were sent out of the room to plan, and all of you came in unplanned words. The end goal was misinterpreted, and this usually happens in families. You get that time to sit and plan,
Yeah, and
and you miss the goal.
they were more
of the
interested
child.
in what's happening inside.
And you wanted the child
You
to
given
achieve.
that time.
Yes.
Yes? Yes, you wanted to say.
When you ask the child that Dido, what about your expression about all this program, the activities? She said, I enjoyed it. But I think that when I will be in that situation, instead of enjoying, I will be scared more to keep up to the expectation of my parents, or using all the blocks and all the things, because I want to listen to what my parents say. So I think it is more than enjoying, it is a scaring part.
Yeah. To some extent, it is a simulation, so we know that there is but in real life situations, this would be nerve-wracking. Yes.
So, there was so much motivation. और एक रखो टूट जाएगा.
That was very strange. और एक रख लो, खत्म हो जाएगा, गिर जाएगा, तो खत्म करके आ जाओ, And then suddenly, did you see the transference of pressure on the parents who kept the target? They were shit scared that 15 is too much. So chalo गिरने दो, जल्दी गिरने दो. Yeah.
There was no discussion about the capacity, aptitude, mood of the child.
Nothing.
Are you up for a challenge? What capacity? Because diverse, 15 and then 8, which means obviously we missed out what the child really is at in terms of
Actually,
his
they
capacity.
decided the child only when the child walked in.
Yeah.
Very true.
That was a bit too much. I would say I am not going to be a child.
And Bua was very satisfied that 8 हो गया, अभी छोड़ दो, हो गया, मेरा 8 हो गया.
That's what the buas and the neighbors do, right? पता नहीं 15 नहीं कर पाएगा. I know what this mother is. Okay? I just want you to also look at each of those roles with empathy. Okay, the mother's target is to just somehow make sure that
Child does not fail.
my child performs and that I don't have to get this feeling of that you're not an adequate mother. Father, कर लो यार सब तू तो कर सकता है. Because tomorrow father will hear not only about his inability to bring up the child, but also that your wife is not doing proper things. Yeah? And the teacher forever is going to be badgered that what is the point, we pay so much fees and that you can't even make my child do this. And above all, just look at the child who had no voice, who has the opportunity, but everything is decided by the others, including to have you or not to have you. Right? I mean, that's the choice that child can't make, but a conversation, a possibility of a child being able to say, or just to ask, beta, what do you think? What can you do? And supposing the child had said 4. Can you imagine what would have been the response from this whole ecosystem? And no, we also use फालतू psychology. Motivation होना चाहिए. Lift करा दो, अदनान सामी ने बोलकर गया है. Right? You know, if I say 4:14 हो सकता है. Come on, बच्चा. You know, I can really kind of instill this, inspire in you. But not realizing that for 14 you can start with 4. The biggest unconscious operation, what was happening in their head? What was going on?
Success.
Success, competition,
To achieve the target.
the target, fear of, yeah, fear of pressure, no? Expectations, lot of bias and prejudices. Just remember this, the entire bias towards the child from each of their role. They were loading their own performance measurement, role measurement on that child. So the child actually loses its authenticity the minute it enters the school. Anything else? Any other observation?
I think we have set as our own standard. As a teacher, I have my own standard. The child should perform on this. As a mother, she has own standard. So, as an adult, we put our thoughts on child.
Yeah, like Shilpa said, you
Yeah.
didn't even bother what's the child's
Yes.
capabilities.
Yeah.
Is there a special need? Is there a special situation? Maybe that morning child got a slap, or someone bullied him in the bus, or the mood is not appropriate, or this child has a visual issue. On top of that, Lakshmi Kumar is blindfolding this child. And that means the child probably will have a panic attack, right? Or this child is more towards the not very dexter, but more towards the right. None of that is even considered, but a set of instructions now performed. Yes, somebody, yes.
First, ma'am, we need to understand whether the child is a visual learner or auditory learner or kinesthetic learner. And then we should ask about the goal, that how much he think that he could. It should be realistic goal. It should not be like random numbers should be thrown to him. Secondly, when so much instructions were giving, so the child's emotional and mental state should be in a it should be so much that he can actually take up the instructions. Otherwise, he will go in fight and flight mode, and his brain amygdala, like what we say, that will shut down, and it will stop working, and he will not be able to follow the instructions properly. So
Yeah, but then when they didn't even use the opportunity outside, and without knowing all these big words of are you a kinesthetic learner, as a parent I may not know, as a neighbor I wouldn't know, but to just ask the child, do we believe a child of any age has its own voice?
Yes.
So in the entire scenario, something which was missing, we have just pointed out, the voice and choice of child. And this is what we are doing in our entire education system. We do not have any place for the voice and choice of the child. Because we feel child has no right to, speak about that or discuss about it.
Even to play the child, they just left it. How did you actually, when you walk in, how did you become the child?
She just helped mother and the child.
Yeah, did you see the way she walked in with that child? Just holding. She kind of assumed and she kind of allocated the role. I am the mother, so you will be the child. So a lot of time, a simple conversation of do you want to play this? And what do you think you want to? And not really finalizing based on also our egos. But more importantly, I just wanted to also explore much later the bias and prejudices of our role. We have a lot of assumptions about what does a teacher role entail. It almost becomes like a circus where they have actually decided the goalposts. A lot of them. Any other perspective? Yes.
So I thought that the child also didn't have any say on the task as well. It was absolutely a adult driven activity which the child, no focus on what the child wants to do. So there are some blocks which are there and the child has to come and do the
Absolutely. And a lot of time, everything is pre-decided for the child. Yeah?
So
Yes.
assessment is decided, the task is decided.
Time is decided, and who is going to guide is decided. Absolutely. Yes.
This task was like a reflection of our society. You know, daily our kids on a regular basis are being asked, marks कैसे आए हैं, या फिर nobody asked, तो जाके मजा आ रहा है, they are enjoying the education journey in totality. So it was just a reflection of what we do.
And for all you know that what Swati mentioned, that the child says, I'm not having fun because somebody is directing me. Yes, you and then you. Yes. Yes.
You talked about
Empathy, yes.
so like my complete sympathy for the father who got sandwiched between the mother and the
I mean, he's just talking about his No, his child. I'm not even talking about Bichara. He thought, there's no voice for the father, so let me just might as well articulate. I am with you. But koi doodh se dhula hua nahi hai. Okay, yes. Yes, yeah. What are the symbols of blindfolding in our schools? How many times we blindfold the child in the school?
We don't ask. We don't ask.
We don't ask, we don't sometimes explain. We don't even say, are you really okay to do this? Are you in the mood?
And we also, because we have thought of an outcome, so we are just looking for that outcome.
Beautiful. We have decided the outcome and we're driving towards that outcome.
We are not even, asking the child or we're just telling him do what you want.
Yeah,
So
okay.
for example, a house has to be the standing roof for me, but the child is drawing two parallel lines, but I'm not able to understand that he's drawing a building or a skyscraper. But my house is standing like the sloping, the hut style. I'm just trying to ऐसा नहीं ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. No, you've not done it correct.
Beautiful. Any other perspective? And how are we doing on time? Rekha ji? Where is Rekha?
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We can be anything. And do we really let anyone be in that our child's life as a significant adult? That's also something that we often take it for granted, is the roles that we embrace. I mean, yes, by default, biology, adoption, I'm a parent. Okay, I'm a mother. But is there a conscious role engagement that I need to think about? By default, no, it shouldn't be, but a lot of time we do end up as teachers. And what's the conscious role engagement that we have? What's that we really think about our role? And is this role about ego fulfillment, or is it about helping the child with self-actualization? That's something that we need to keep thinking about, because especially within the classroom, okay, but when there is a public performance or a competition between, or a sports day or a concert, you see this in operation.
Yeah.
A lot of time you see this. And of course a father comes, even though you may have 50 times announced, we have our own photographer, please don't come forward and disturb. All that, the father is like this. Why? सब कुछ कर लेगा मेरा बेटा.
नाम रोशन.
Yeah. Okay, sorry father, where is that father? There. Sorry, I didn't mean to say anything, but a lot of time, I see fathers in only 2 or 3 times in the school. Time of admission, not to humbly listen to and say what can they become a better father, they'll come and tell me how many people they manage in their company. And they will actually show their title, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you manage 300 adults, but we manage 1200 children and 2400 umbilical cords. Right? I mean, we are. But yeah, you have to listen to the father and just massage his ego. And then we have mothers, and Shilpa, you know that, early years. Shilpa and me have worked for 10 years together. Mother will come and very politely say, kindergarten admission, and say, can we look at your 10th standard math textbook?
Very good.
And I'm wondering that your child is going to do 10th standard after 14 years, and you have done it 14 years before. 28 years में what are you going to make connections? दुनिया इतना नहीं बदला है. 10th standard textbooks are still the same. But they kind of want to say how academically inclined, how they monitor the way you teach. But the point is, I keep telling them, you do one thing, you run your home peacefully. I run my school well. I'm a professional, and let's not switch roles. And don't expect me to become the surrogate mother. I know we have to wipe the nose and ass, but we cannot be the surrogate mothers. We are professionals. We have been trained for developmental milestones. We've been trained for pedagogy that is age appropriate, but let's not switch roles. We say, if you can provide a fairly conflict-free, quote-unquote, war-free zone at home, and just do your bit as a parent, leave the rest to us. And that's what happens here. A lot of time, they want to kind of over-amplify their roles, because the whole prejudice and bias, and as teachers we must acknowledge, we judge parents all the time. I mean, if she had said as a mother 4, we'd say, well, she's not very ambitious. She's not very motivating. She's just letting the child be complacent. She's not really, she's very laid back. Obviously, if you don't set expectations, your child won't perform. And if she had said 15, oh my God, look at that drive. No wonder the child is just falling out. So a lot of time, we actually push very subconsciously and unconsciously. I'm not saying it's a very conscious effort, but the system has given a lot of definitions of how they should be and who they should be. Yes? Any more last observations? Any father voices? More fathers are here? No?
Okay, can I say?
Yeah, father. Yes,
So
please.
I wanted to share that, here I think the child somewhat succeeded. And that was because the instructions and the voices around were somehow synergized because they were together in the same room. But in real life, they exist in silos.
Yes.
And the instructions are going to be, clashing, and I don't think he would have gone beyond 4.
Possible. Yes, because they are not in sync, because they are not even in the same room sometime. Yes.
I think as a father, you have to also play a role in expectation setting between mother and child. Because a lot of times they keep fighting.
Other ways also, yeah. I think it's almost like seesaw, one up to one down, and or one is completely disconnected from what's happening, and one has assumed the role of I'm just bread provider, even though they don't make any bread most of the time. Yeah, but a lot of time it is the cause and effect. It happens. Any other? Yes.
Good morning. But I just wanted to share a lighter moment. When you said the Max book, I had a very funny experience. So we posted for our pioneer batch, giving a wish in the social media for when they were going to the 10th grade. I had a continuous call from a parent whose child was in the 2nd standard, and I didn't know what to do. I said, I'll call you back, ma'am. We don't have 2nd standard in the school. And around 8:30 in the night, again she called me. She said, I saw your post. I heard you're training even the preschool children for 10th exam. Can I put my child? And I said, what? I have not made any post. And then I'm going back and seeing my post from the school. Is it anything, giving such an opinion? But then she has not even gone through it properly. It is only an all the best message for our pioneer batch students. All their photos, everything is there. But then, in the school, we had such a lot of fun mentioning. As you said, as they come for the, play school enquiry itself, they'll ask about your maths book or science or how you train and all that.
Yeah, and also, there are schools that do coaching JEE from grade 5. I mean, forget about, I'm not even talking about the quotas. I'm talking about you just go into Telangana, every other school, grade 5 you hand over a child. So I think she thought, why wait for grade 5? Yes. Someone wanted to say something. Yes.
Ma'am, what about assessment for learning and give feedback to the child?
Okay. At what age? I'm not even going to go there.
No, we've given the child the block and then the child does it and then you give the feedback. You did it and then do you want to try the third one? So this kind of feedback, if it is given to
very essential, but was there an emotional space there?
No.
Because what was their whole focus was on their achievement, right? Mera number कब आएगा नहीं अब भी आना चाहिए, right? Minus 14, minus 12, minus 15. So there was such an intense emotional environment, and unfortunately, this is the situation. Once the child enters, until marriage or maybe even after marriage, bachcha kab hoga, right? So there is this whole target-related, performance-related expectations from the multiple players. And all of us are, but for a child, I think it's a huge emotional overload. The child gets so wound up that you see that when the child is in 8th grade, failure is not at all an option for the child. I mean, we have children now starting to cut their wrist in grade 6. And you wonder where we need to unlearn. This is not an age actually, or for that matter, any age to someone to set the target. The whole point is that when you're seeking the whole child, the child's voice is the most important. And when you're seeking the whole child, you have leaves. Is it that can we put this together and create this whole picture? Without that, we get so hijacked. Do we even spend some time in this whole ecosystem of, let's say, this early childhood education or the early primary or middle or in the secondary or in the higher education as to what are the pieces of our student? That's why the emotional hijack is so high that they came in and then they decided, actually, you be the child, okay, now I be the mother, So there is no dialogue, there is no conversation. Yes?
Like there was a movie about the wrestler. We had that movie where the father was suppressing the daughters. Yes. So if the father would have not done that with the daughter, they would have not ended up being the best wrestlers in the country. So what do you think? I mean, what was that? That was somewhere that the father wanted the child to become something. And I think in India, we have great IITians, we have doctors, we have people whose parents are suppressing at some point to get them achieve at something. So according to you, ma'am, we need to ask the child what the child wants to do. And I think 99% the child doesn't want to do anything.
Oh, I don't buy that.
Yes, ma'am, because if I talk about my own child, if I ask her to sit and study mathematics, she'll say, I don't want to do maths.
Okay.
Why do I have to study algebra at this age? It has got nothing to do.
So then that's a failure of the system, not the child. I will come back, maybe another for jod to bahut hone wala hai then. I want to answer this, okay? But for the outcome of them becoming the national boxing champions, the story would have been completely different. So you are evaluating now the father's fathering style and this push because there's an outcome that you are able to. Okay, that's one. I'm sorry, Amir Khan, I'm not criticizing you, but I don't know if all children are capable of coming out without being fractured.
Can I please?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Are you connected to Amir Khan in any way? No, I'm so scared because please don't record and post it on social media and create panga with Amir Khan that tomorrow and Lakshmi Kumar. Amir Khan and Lakshmi
Kumar. Forget that I will then have to apologize to the fringe elements that I made this comment. So please don't post it, okay? Let's just hear her. Yes.
I'm going to take the example of the film itself. There is a space, there's a time frame in the movie where this, child who's become an adult now and goes to this, I think, a place where they are academy to learn, and there is this rebellious streak in her. And I want to grow my hair. I mean, I don't even have a voice. That my father has to dictate to me what is the length of my hair going to be. And this thing, there was the sense of rebellion. And when you're saying that, if the father wouldn't have pushed, she wouldn't have been the best wrestler in the country. Again, I'm coming back to this, the whole child. When we're talking about the whole child, we're not looking at achievement only in one aspect, but we're looking at achievement in all areas. This, just imagine the kind of emotional tussle this child must have had, that I can't eat pani puri, I can't grow my own hair, I don't have a voice to whatever.
What I want to just also highlight is that I'm not saying goal setting is not important. I'm not saying building pressure is not required. I'm talking about when, how.
And how much.
And how much, and also is the child enrolled in the goal. I think when the child is emotionally ready, then the child can understand that getting those 92% is important. But you don't need to get that when you're 6-year-old, and life is not going to fall apart. A lot of time we don't wait for that emotional maturity and assumption. Isliye to we made it 18 and 21 for shadi, no? Right? There is a responsibility quotient, there is an element of commitment, there's an element of performance. So I think that's very, very important. Can we just hold this, because 10, they've shown me the board.
I just have a point to make. See, in this entire scenario, we also had the neighbors, we also had the entire society. So everybody has to be sanitized. So if you, again, taking that movie into example, if you look at, the entire society was against, right? Now, until and unless the entire society, the entire community works towards child's education, it is not going to be built up. And everybody has to be sanitized, that every kind of subject has to be introduced. The children or the girls over there were not even exposed to anything else. They felt that the shadi is the only thing which has to be done, and they didn't have any other aspiration into their life at all. So the aspiration itself was not built, the exposure was not there, and hence they were not in a position to even decide. So decision making only comes when the child is given. So I'm always an advocate of child-centered approach. So if the child is not exposed to anything else, the child doesn't have any other option rather than just whatever the society tells and whatever everybody tells, just to get flowed with that.
Yeah, I think just to summarize also for the context, okay? As I said, the story ended well. So we then need to see what lessons we can draw from. But that cannot be transferred and translated in all contexts. Your child may be very, very different from another child. And we know that in Bollywood, a lot of subtexts are nicely oiled. So we don't know what other things that have happened. But when the story ends well, yes, we can always draw some significant learning from it. But in all these learnings, if that father had lost both the girls, the plot is lost. And when I say lost, you don't have to lose them physically. A lot of time our children get zoned out and they're mentally lost. And we are actually then trying to fix that adulthood, you know. That's all I'm saying, that whenever possible, sit down and hear the child's voice. Whenever possible, for you as an educator, sit down and listen to the parent voice, because they have a context, okay? And for all of us, it's not very difficult to understand. And I often say this to my teachers.
I'm sure you've experienced it. As a teacher, as a parent, you want everything for your child in the school. But as a teacher, you will say, "Arey, experiential learning करना है क्या? Field trip जाना है क्या? Camp क्यों करना है? And why run behind the Varkaris?" But the same teacher will come and say, "You know what? My child really enjoyed that trip to meet the Varkaris and see." Otherwise, I've been living in Pune for 25 years. I've never seen. So I think that's also this disconnect. What you want as a parent is also what you need to give as a teacher, and vice versa.
Can I put in a point here?
There are two hands, yeah. Can I just quickly have?
If there are raised by there is no male voice.
Well, we had few male voices, and they just protected the father's role. Supported, yeah. But thank you for that. Do you want to say something? But we'll just finish with it, yeah.
Now, since you talked about jungle movie, there is one more movie.
Can we just give the rest to Amir Khan and all of them?
There is a very beautiful and sensible message in that movie, Chichore, where the child, the father has set very high expectations from the child, and he has to crack some engineering exam, and he could not. So he just tries to commit a suicide. So because of this parental pressure and peer pressure, these things are increasing day by day. I think setting expectations is good, it's important, but high validation of child's emotional health, mental health is equally important.
Absolutely. I think that's also what probably she was seeking. I just want to quickly show you 4 slides. I don't have more. Okay, are you all writing? Now see, she's the counselor. At the back of it, write which aspect of the child that you get to know. Which phase of the child. Like the diamond. You have so many phases. Just write that one word quickly while I just take it through few slides. Just a kind of a recap. Can we just have the slide 2, please?
Slide 2.
Yes.
No. Yeah. I think for me, fundamentally, do your parents and your team and all stakeholders have a shared vision. And the vision need not be just one vision. We have a vision for the school organization, but also vision for the child, which is very, very localized and contextualized. So that's very, very important for us. The second tenet for me is building trust. When you want to know the whole child, you won't get everything until you build trust. And when you have trust, the parent is willing to actually come forward and talk about all the context in which the child is growing. And it's valuable. The trust is critical for us. And the trust cannot be overnight. And the parent knows that you genuinely have, and being very authentic about your relationship with the parent, and most importantly, respectful and non-biased. We have all kinds of families. We have all kinds of adults coming into our child's life. And can we suspend our biases and our prejudices? That's very important. And third one is to share and support resources. And when I say resources, it's not necessarily just the material, physical resources, but about all the human resources. This is very important. Next slide, please. I just thought we should know this. How many stakeholders impact a child's life? Hey, this is not being easy. This slide, this presentation will be with you all, and they will share it.
I'll share it on the
I mean, just look at it. Well, how is local business a stakeholder? The way that they, a lot of things are sold for the child and it's advertised. The child gets a sense of, I am normal when I have this. Or I am okay if I have this. I would be fine if I am watching this cartoon. And this continues the whole life of the child. When in a 9th grade, if you don't watch a particular serial, you are not even part of the clique. In 12th grade, if you haven't watched this football match previous night, you are a nerd. You are not even part of the conversation. So you have all this. Unfortunately, we don't have unions, but we do have forums, and thankfully the ECA and APER is one of those that also is playing an important role in defining what the child is. Next one. Yeah? So the 5 tenets of whole child approach. So whatever word that you're writing should nearly fall in one of these. Okay? And very, very critical for a whole child approach in the classroom is to be challenged with it, to be supported. But too many voices didn't give adequate support and a correct information for it. Engaged. Yes, the child was given some task and a very hands-on, and also later on we were debriefing it so that the child knows. Your question of why do I learn geometry? That's a failure of the system, that we haven't contextualized anything that the child is taught. Starting with even, I don't know why the hell am I teaching Charles Law. Right? A lot of time. We don't have a real life connect. Thank you. I know you're bringing in a lot of that. We don't have the real life connect of a lot of scientific principles and mathematical equations, and let alone we are able to. We say it's in the textbook, padlo. Okay? But very, very important is safe. Did the child feel safe with so many adults? Or child felt emotionally very torn and pulled out in different directions? And a lot of time it happens, especially when schools take a stand of being on an emotional high horse. Unfortunately, and I say this, that parent comes from an emotional perspective. As a teacher or an educator, we have a professional perspective. And professional ethic is also to really calm down, cool down, let go, and not bring our anger on them. Because if you do that, that really breaks the trust building. And of course, do we create, when I say just not the physical, but the dynamics of an organization, dynamics of the school. And you know that sometimes between a teacher and the assistant teacher, you see you're torn between, Baba. And a leader is torn between. Yes, time out. Okay, so just come with your leaves and just make a nice Jack and the Beanstalk. Imagine this stalk, just lay your leaves. Have you written it?
Yes.
Yeah, just come and put the one on the one where your handwriting is. Yeah, you can do that from there. So that's the whole child.
Inspired by the Vadodara. Sorry, Lucky, what comes? This is a disclaimer we have to do. So this is how we feel Setod Fort Jod by the Vadodara Innovation Council. Thank you so much for allowing us to use the name that you conceptualized.
Vadodara Council.
Vadodara Council. We have a little
Hey,
problem
come on,
here.
a bigger clap for Vadodara Council.
And a bigger clap for Lakshmi ma'am. Yes. So I wanted to sum up the session that Lakshmi just took through. It wasn't she just phenomenal? Can we just give a big clap out there? For all of us, I think there was everything to take back into our classrooms and also back into our family and therefore back into our community as we bring in change, as we bring in a conscious effort and a lot of awareness on how we look at the child, because who are we here for eventually? Who are we making this change for? We're making it for the child and of course then all the stakeholders that she showed us for sure. Lakshmi, thank you so much. It's always insightful to hear you. I personally get a great high hearing you wherever I can. I'd like to now call upon Lakshmi to be felicitated by Rekha ma'am from the National Core Committee at ECA. Please come up. Thank you. Two stunning ladies amongst us. Do masti like this. Big one. Come on everybody, a big clap.
We've been doing masti for too many years together, so that's why she did.
But I must say that for me, coming back to ECA is like coming home. In the 80s,
you should hear this.
I started my career in school education in 86. Yeah. And the early 90s,
I've been in Mumbai in so many spaces for ECA with Jose Paul and Freddy Karapu. Probably it was not formulated. Very, very early years of looking at parenting, looking at teacher development, especially sensitizing teachers for the whole child. For me that's been the passionate thing, and it's for me coming home. Thank you for this.
और भी है 1 minute one photo दिखा ली she's asking me कुछ है अंदर
बहुत कुछ है
just
a lot of
बहुत भारी तो है
Thank you.
thank you so much
thank you. We'll see you.